Welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Roddy, alongside my good friend and co-host, Prabby. Well, Prabby, Canucks sit just outside of the playoff bar here. They're fifth in the Pacific. They have a 10-6-3 record of 23 points. That being said, they do have 2 to 3 games in hand on the teams in front of them. 3 games in hand on the Oilers, that is, as well. The big news we got to break right off the hop here. We haven't podded since then, so it's a little bit old, but new to us on our pod. JT Miller is taking an indefinite leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. He is not on this 6-game road trip with them currently, and reported today by Darren Dreger, he might or he will be a little bit longer than the road trip afterwards too. So at home he will miss some games as well. From a hockey standpoint, this is a huge blow to the Canucks. This guy is the heartbeat of the team. Similar player to Garland in the way that every shift, guy never takes it off, usually wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's always there. Apparently he's only missed 7 games since he's been with the Canucks in a six-year tenure here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just absolutely incredible. You love this player. You love this guy. And all you got to do is, you just support him and you hope for the best. And yeah, Brabby, what did your thoughts on this indefinite leave of absence here?
First thing I got to say, it's crazy that we've had him for 6 years now. It feels we got him like a couple seasons ago, but yeah, man, it sucks obviously, but at the end of the day, you want what's best for the player. I wasn't really a fan of the speculations going around and everything like that. I think people, especially in our market, just need to relax, take a couple deep breaths, and maybe not blow it out of like proportion. But from what it seems like he's just been dealing with some injuries all year. And, as much as it is like, it seems like it's a mental leave, it's more like his body probably needs to recover too. And yeah, just wish him the best. And when he comes back, he's going to be an absolute beast for the team. And yeah, not much else you can say. Sucks, but they're chugging along.
Exactly. No, currently 500 without him, 1-1. This is what Patrick Johnson said from the province. It's not related to substance abuse or alcohol abuse. It's about giving a player a chance for the player to reset mentally. We know he's obsessed with competing at 100%, and we can see that he hasn't been. He was benched in the last game he played against Nashville in Vancouver from Tocchet. So that's, he's been benched before by Tocchet, and he's responded. Yeah, I will say, especially in that game in particular, like the penalty kill that the Canucks had, you could hear him shouting at Petey to cover his man when JT was doing a lot of puck watching on that shift in particular. Yeah. So, again, take as much time as you need. We want Miller. Canucks fans want Miller. The management wants him at 100% and 100% here mentally, right? Like if a player needs this, like I think it's a good thing. Hockey doesn't really have this side of things a lot of the times. Like most of the time you hear it for the alcohol or drug abuse, right? With like someone like Nichushkin or whatever. Yeah. But especially from a player like Miller, who I feel like a lot of people wouldn't think of him as being a person to take a mental leave. It's I think it's good for the sport, and I think he should be more transparent with things like this for the future.
Yeah. I don't think it's anybody's business on why he's taking the leave, right? Like there's so many things that could just be going on in somebody's life, and the fact that he was honestly like strong enough to say, hey, like I need a break, like for a guy of his compete level and a guy of like his just overall value to the team, like I think that shows a lot. And the fact that the Canucks are they're 100% behind him on all this, and no, I just wish him the best, and I can't wait to see him back on the ice. It's always a treat watching JT, whether he's playing good or bad. It's always a treat.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, right? Like he's an emotional leader. Like not having him again from a hockey standpoint for this team really hurts, because I think he provides that element of an emotional leader where Hughes and a guy like Pettersson or Brock are a little bit more even keeled and calm. He can fire the boys up when they need, and like I think Garland is that guy right now, and Joshua would be there as well. Yeah, but yeah, he's sorely missed, and hope everything clears up and everything's all good for him, and yeah, just wishing the best, like you said. That being said, we got some good news on the injury front here. Thatcher Demko traveled with the team, as did Brock Besser. Demko is supposedly able to play on this road trip, but it would be towards the end of the road trip.
Yeah.
I don't know who the last couple of teams are there. I believe it's Detroit and Buffalo. Let me double check that. But Brock, as we found out today, was a full participant in a skate. They're going to reevaluate him later today, see how he's feeling, but he was in a full practice today. He should be slated to play against Boston tomorrow.
Yeah.
So those are two huge additions coming back into the fold for Vancouver. The last few games on the road trip here are going to be the Sabres, Red Wings, and Wild. Those are the last 3 games of it. So I'm assuming he should get one of those games, which is for Demko and for Canucks fans to see their number 1 goalie back. That's huge.
Yeah. I saw some stats recently that Lankinen, his save, or his not his save, well, his saves, but his stats have kind of dipped quite a bit, and I think just the aura of having a guy like Demko on the back end is it's something the team needs. And like you sit here and having a guy like Demko, like you sit here, if you were to tell me like we're playing the Winnipeg Jets, in my head I'm not thinking we're playing the Winnipeg Jets. I'm thinking, God, we're playing Connor Hellebuck, right?
Yeah.
Dallas Stars, maybe not to the Hellebuck level, but you sit there and you're like, man, Jake Ottinger's, that's gonna be tough, right? Like it's something the teams think of. I love Lankinen, and he's played great so far, but like,
he's been up to the task. Yeah.
When you look at the Canucks, like teams sit there and they say, okay, we got to play Quinn Hughes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Demko's in the picture, and now teams could say we got to play Pedersen and Hughes, right? When Demko's in the picture, Demko's the type of goalie that makes teams go, dang, we got to play Thatcher Demko. Like,
yes.
And I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air when he suits up for the team this year, and I think that first home game for him is gonna be crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be unbelievable. Yeah, I think that's a big thing with goalies as well. Like I agree. Lankinen has served us very well. His numbers have dipped. Obviously, Seelovs has the 1 win off his versus Chicago. Sorry. Which is awesome, but he hasn't really, like, I guess he got the test versus the Rangers as well. I think that was load management for Lankinen, and it's been a tough battle for Sheloves to kind of find his groove a bit here. So Lankinen's been the one that's kind of been really leaned on, right? And the schedule's been nice to Vancouver, but I think this is more than what Lankinen has done for the past few years. He's been mainly a backup. He's being asked to do a lot more than what he normally does. Getting Demko back in is going to be, it's a boogeyman. Like you said, like when you see a big goalie in net, for me, for example, like when we played the Lightning this year, we lost 4-1. Vasilevsky's in net. We scored the 1 goal on him. But when goalies like that, like him, Hellebuck, Demko are on, it's like you're shooting into a void. You don't know where, it's never going into the back of the net. And players are gripping their sticks tighter. They're trying to pick these corners that just aren't there. Yep. It's going to be a huge boost to this club. So excited to see Demko play. And also, getting Besser back, like our, a guy that's on JT's line whenever he's there, like getting him back is going to be huge. It kind of alleviates pressure off the wingers that are asked to do a lot more than what they should right now. DeBrus has stepped up as of late. Sherwood, obviously. We'll talk about that line in a bit, but they've been unreal.
Yeah.
Getting Besser back will give another threat to that second line. So that's great to see.
What is the second line right now? It's
with these guys being injured, like when Besser comes back, I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but because right now the second line is essentially Garland, Joshua, and Suter. And they put Bluger on the third line with Heinen and I believe Höglander.
I think Höglander's fourth.
Oh, Höglander is fourth. Is he? He was with
Ratu.
Yeah,
Höglander. I don't know. Whatever.
But anyways, yeah. So Besser, I don't think they'll break up the Joshua Garland thing. So I just wonder who's going to be with Besser then, though. Like who would you? Do you have an idea of who you would put there? Like when he's back?
If I'm being completely honest, I think I'd go. It's just not going to happen. But Bluger, Joshua Garland stays as a line, and Suter, Hoglander, Besser, I think. But Hoglander's staple to that fourth line, man. Like that guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a second too.
Yeah, that guy's
I just
having a rough one, man.
I just pulled up Daily Faceoff here. So yeah, as a second line right now, it's Joshua, Suter, Garland. Third is Heinen, Bluger, Hoglander, and the fourth is the kid line: Baines, Ratu, and Sasson. But I think it must have been jumbled up in the Ottawa game because Sasson ended up passing to Bluger for his first point in the NHL.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm assuming this is going to cause a bit of a rift within the lines, and it might go into a little bit of a blender. But regardless, it's a good problem to have Besser back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Still nothing on Forbert. I have not heard any updates since the last time we potted, but he skated before the Rangers game with Besser. I don't know if it was in a non-contact or not. Yeah, I'm a. Yeah, I'm not a source. You know, like
they're so discreet with what's going on and stuff like that, and I feel like anything with Derek Forbert right now is going to get lost in the Thatcher Demko, Brock Besser, JT
and
Miller,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, so I don't know much about the Forbert situation, but I think for the most part, like the team's been holding their own. So I don't know. It's one of those things. He's another tree on the back end that like you're sitting there, you're like,
Yeah, yeah. And especially with like what you just said, like not obviously he's a part of the team.
Yeah.
He's a player for this team, but like when news is coming out about Miller, Demko, and Besser, unfortunately that news is just not on the priority list for most fans. But yeah, no, I don't think there's been an update since he skated with them on the Rangers team. I don't against the Rangers there. I don't know if he joined the team on the road trip either, but that's that. Prabby, your thoughts on the homestand that the Canucks just had too? I know they're on the road right now, but they went 2-4 on this homestand. They won against the Flames and Blackhawks, which are predictable wins, I'd say. And they got mollywopped by the Oilers. They got embarrassed by the Islanders. The Preds game was better, but not that great. And they didn't have Miller or Besser in this game, and they lost to the Rangers, which is probably their best effort on the homestand. But regardless, the record stands for itself. The stats are there. It's 2-4 in a homestand. They're just not good enough at home right now.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for the people that are paying their good money to go watch this team at home, and they're just laying stinker after stinker after stinker. I don't know what it is, man. We were so good at home last year, and
incredible.
This year, they just compared to when they're on the road, like they look like a completely different team. Like the Islanders, you should be beating. The Predators, you should be beating. The Flames, obviously, you should be beating. Maybe you can make a case that the Flames are a little better than everybody expected.
Yeah.
And Chicago, you should be beating. So two out of those four, you should be beatings. They beat, right? The only one where you're like it's a toss up is the Rangers game, and they lost that one, which I'm okay with. It was what was it, like 4-3 or something like that?
Yeah, 4-3, and for not having Miller, and there was a potential in not having Garland. But yeah,
they battled in that game. But for me personally, the Islanders loss and the Predators loss, that's inexcusable. Like you can't lose to those teams.
Absolutely.
Especially if you look at the Islanders, man, they didn't have Barzell. I don't think they were missing one more like top end defenseman. I don't know who it was. Was it Mayfield? They might have been
Mayfield was there.
Pollock, was it?
Yeah, it was Adam Pelech, I believe. Yeah,
Pelech, right? So like they were missing one of their best defensemen and their best forward, and you still couldn't beat the Islanders.
Yeah, and that's what Jeff Patterson was saying as well, and I totally agree. It's basically what you're saying. Like teams find a way to win without their star players, and for the Islanders especially, like Barzell's a huge hit for them. Yeah. We still have in that game. You still have JT. You still have Pedersen, Hughes, right? Like you gotta get it done there. Islanders are a team that have been shut out 4 times this year. Like that's just unacceptable. Like Besser obviously tips the scales as far as wingers for us because he is our best winger, but losing just Besser shouldn't make your team fold against teams like that.
Yeah.
No, it was an abysmal homestand. That being said, their road record. I gotta stop saying that. By the way, I listened to our old pod, our last pod. I think I said it like 8 times.
What?
That being said, I love it.
Oh,
I don't
that
know.
being said,
Yeah. I gotta find another way to say that to segue here. But um, yeah, their road record right now, they're 7-1, absolutely lighting it up.
yeah.
Uh, did you want to talk about the Rangers game a little bit more at all, or do you want to go to the Sens game here?
I think the Rangers game, you just sit there and I think you just say good effort for what they were missing. And,
Yes.
also congratulations to Connor Garland. He scored in that game and then he went, not, I don't even, probably didn't even go home. He probably went straight to the hospital and
Yeah, he did. He did.
welcomed a baby boy. So big ups to him.
Quentin.
Yeah. Quentin, not after the captain. Not after the
No.
captain. No, after a character from Jaws.
Yeah, I've never seen Jaws, but
Because the guy's a freak.
yeah. But Quinn is the Godfather. Quinn
Yeah,
is the Godfather. So
which is super cool. But
big news.
yeah, if you are, I'm down to switch to the Senators game because I feel like that's probably the most entertaining game we've had in a couple weeks.
Definitely. Well, they only played twice this last week here, so yeah, it definitely was. The Rangers game, I'll just say I really like the battle, and for a depleted lineup, if they played like that throughout the homestand, they could have went 4-2 on the road, the homestand instead. So it was disappointing to know that they had that in them with the guys that they had initially, with Miller still being there at the time and everything. That was just Other than that, we're on to the Senators versus Canucks here. This game was just a weird one, like an exciting one, but my God. First 5 minutes into the game, Quinn Hughes, noted goon, takes a hit.
Was it 5 minutes in?
I think it was just 5 minutes in. I believe so.
You keep going. I'll double check.
Yeah, sorry. I think he played 5 minutes in the game is what I'm getting wrong here. But anyways, Quinn Hughes hit from behind on Josh Norris. Norris goes into the boards. He hits like the ledge of the boards with his face. He gets cut. And I don't know what rule it is within the NHL rulebook, but basically, if there's any injury on like the face or whatever, the player is allowed to get ejected. Now, in my humble, very Canuck bias opinion, yes, I believe this hit was a dirty hit. Quinn hardly touched him. He guided him into the boards, and it was an awkward spot. It still is 100% a penalty. I would have even entertained a full 5 minute. Josh Norris goes off to put a little Hello Kitty Band-Aid right on the lip or something like that, and he comes back out on that power play right away. Hughes is out of the game because of the injury, and I don't know. I've never seen a softer boarding call like that in my life, an ejection in my life. Like that was incredible. What are your thoughts on this hit?
I think 100%. That's a 5 minute penalty. I also think you have to look I've watched it like quite a bit, and I'm not saying this in a way of like this is Josh Norris's fault or anything like that, but he is in a pretty awkward spot, and he's like he's not in a position where he's going to be the strongest he possibly can be on his skates, right?
No.
And it looks like he might have kind of like toe picked as well as soon as the cross check came in. Definitely a 5, but I agree with the like game misconduct. That was a tough pill to swallow. I understand where the NHL is coming from, especially like when you want to, you worry about concussions and just like facial injuries and stuff like that. My only sort of beef with it is like, okay, you've called it. I get it. Call that shit next time too. Don't fucking call it this time, and then next time be like, he got up. So you know what? We're gonna give him a 2, right? Yeah, that's the way it goes. I swear, man, if Josh Norris had gotten up right away, and just skated to the bench, that would have been a 2-minute penalty. Which is a shitty way to think that's how officiating works. Because I remember somebody posted it as well when Josh Manson last season hit JT Miller square in the head. Like he wasn't even going for any part of the body besides the head. Yeah. And he got a 2-minute penalty for a check to the head. Because JT Miller got up and he skated away. Like JT didn't even fall to the ground or anything.
I remember
fell to a knee, right? And he gets a 2-minute penalty. Same thing. If JT stays on the ground there, you're looking at a 5-minute major in a game misconduct.
Yeah.
Right. So
no, easy. And that's the thing. It's the consistency with this league that just drives us nuts, drives all the fans nuts. Yeah, and it just seems so like, again, the ruling in the NHL rulebook makes sense. That's why Quinn got ejected. I can swallow that because it's within the rules. It just drives me nuts that I know Norris is just waiting in the hallway until he's stitched up and good to go.
Yeah.
And then he's good. It's a huge impact on a team like Vancouver, especially no Besser, no Miller, no Demko, and now no Hughes for the rest of the game. Like that creates a huge impact on Vancouver.
Yeah.
So overall, for the win, complete props. Like, that was a gutsy road win. Wasn't the prettiest, but with what they had to offer, like pretty much Pedersen and the boys, like that was a very solid road win. And just to go on like with your consistency with like the hitting from behind and stuff. Later in the game in the third, when the Sens are getting frustrated, Stützle, Höglander has a breakaway. Höglander is off balance during this play, and Stützle just cranks him from behind. Same thing. On the numbers, Höglander fell a little bit better in this one, so there was no injury on him. But it's, in my opinion, like this hit was more dangerous than what Quinn Hughes did to Norris. And what comes out of that? An instigator penalty for Höglander, Sends on the power play.
Who said it? I think it might have been Shorthouse who said it, but basically, like Höglander, because he went in on the breakaway and the puck got all muffled and stuff like that, and he was right next to the net. He was looking for the puck, which was behind the net, and then when Stützle came in, so when he hits Höglander actually like falls like immediately.
Yeah,
I think it was Shorthouse who was saying like if he didn't fall immediately, like he would have went face head first into the boards, and that would have been so much worse. And if he was a foot closer to the boards, that would have been crazy. I don't understand how he gets the extra two. Like that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I know, and I think it's just the instigating rule there. But I love that Höglander ended up like giving it to him a bit there, because like Stützle deserved that. He had that coming, and then sorry, but yeah, Vancouver's up 4-1. Also great, like that Sherwood, PD, and DeBrusk line, the DPS line they're calling it. Absolutely incredible. Like Pedersen, another 2 assists. You got Sherwood potting a goal, DeBrusk getting 2. Like, man, like that line carried this night, and they were all over the ice. Sherwood, another 10-hit performance. That's 4 on the year.
That's absolutely nuts.
The pace makes... sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place here, but the pace makes no sense, man. How is he able... Like, is he going to be able to do this in the playoffs? Like, I really hope so. I hope he can... You know, if he can keep this up, sure, go for it. But, like, tailor it back a bit, man. I'm all right if you have a couple 2-hit nights. Like,
he should go for the record, and once he hits the record, calm down, save it for playoffs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, man, that guy's and he's so much fun to watch too. Just he chases people down, and he like, man, I love him. What a freaking signing! 1 more year after this is nuts.
$1.5 million for the... Yeah, it's actually incredible. Like, he's... And the other thing too, we've been trying to find a winger for Petey forever. Like, DeBrusk gets his 2 goals in this game, which is awesome to see, because again, with absences like Besser and Miller out there, and you need some other people scoring, and like, you know, he's a guy that needs to be called upon. Like, he makes too much money to go quietly in these games, and for him to get 2 is awesome. But Sherwood is such a smart player. He gives a little snarl to Pedersen's line, and they seem to have great chemistry together. Like, I've seen it being bounced around other Canuck channels, and they were like basically saying, is he like Alex Burrows 2.0? And I wanted to ask you the same question. Like, do you think he's like an Alex Burrows-esque type player? Like, is he just that smart?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I still think it's a little too early to tell. It's the longevity aspect of it all, right? Like,
Yes, yeah.
you can be put on that line, and you can go on a heater for a little bit. If in 10 games, maybe he's not producing to the level he's producing now, but he's still efficient and effective on that line, I think then you can really start making that case. I think we as like Canuck fans, like for me, like I don't expect Sherwood to be looking this good every single game that he's on that line.
Yeah.
But like it's a breath of fresh air, right? Like we went from overpaying for bottom six players that weren't even NHL caliber players, like 10 games in, to getting a guy for 1.5 million for 2 years, 2 years at 1.5. And as of right now, it looks like this guy is going to give you surplus value.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's nice. And I think for Sherwood, like obviously him being, if he turned into Alex Burrows, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with him just being key for Sherwood. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
11, 12 hits a game. Hey man, do your thing. There's gonna be a certain point this year where he's gonna have like 14 or 15 hits in a game. Like it's gonna be nuts.
Well, imagine him in the playoffs. I don't even want to know. He's an absolute monster already. Like he's gonna become unhinged in the playoffs. Like I'm so excited to watch that. But no, just his shots too. Like it's just he's gotten 40 goals in the A. He knows how to score.
Yeah.
But like it's just crazy to see. Like, he got this opportunity in playing with Pedersen here. It's probably one of the best players he's ever played with, and he's rolling with it. And he might just stick here because of how well he plays.
Yeah, and I like the fact he's not afraid to shoot the puck.
Yes.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that Kiefer Sherwood is everything we thought Michael Ferland would be for us.
Oh damn! I didn't even think. I forgot about Ferland. That is
played them in the playoffs, and then we signed their guy, and then obviously Ferland didn't work out and stuff like that. But like last year we played Kiefer Sherwood in the playoffs, and holy shit, did I hate when he was on the ice. And every time Kiefer Sherwood would get on the ice, I'd be like, all right, Quinn, go to the bench. Please.
Yeah. Do not die.
Yeah, for the love of God, please go to the bench, bro. But yeah, no, it's so refreshing, and yeah, I really hope he sticks, because it adds such a dynamic to that top six. Like he's fast, he's got hands, he can shoot, he can hit. He's feisty, like
Well, he's causing defenders to turn it over with it's the same way Garland forechecks as well. Like he's finishing every hit, so these defense are trying to get rid of the puck quick, and it's causing havoc.
Yeah.
Right. So just a great addition to that line. I don't see him coming off of it anytime soon unless he starts slumping. But for the now, I think he's a perfect piece of that line. Now we're gonna go down the lineup here a little bit more in this game. Max Sasson picks up his first NHL point, NHL assist. Beautiful play too, by the way. Like, Lekarimäki ended up getting sent down, and like I thought Lekarimäki, for his time up with the big club, thought he played great for the most part. There are some things he needs to work on, like his battling and his IQ just on like the walls and stuff. Like he wasn't winning any of those battles, and I think he was just a little slow to get his shot off. He's playing really safe, I think.
Yeah.
So I think some seasoning is definitely going to help. With guys like, I would put Baines in this conversation too, but like Baines and Sasson are like a little bit more like NHL grindy type players that can just get like, plugged into the lineup and they can play. This play he does on the wing, beautiful pass by Tyler Myers, by the way, to start this rush off.
Yeah,
gives it to Sasson. Yeah, it was a great pick.
Yeah.
But gives it to Sasson. Sasson bolts down the wing, does a quick look back, good hockey sense there, gives it to Bluger, and this is for Gunny here, because Gunny said Bluger can't beat a goalie, and he won't beat a goalie. Well, he beat Allmark on this nice and clean. Yeah. Nice and clean. So, a hell of a point. You see the Sasson family in the stands going nuts. And did you hear the story about how he called his dad up and everything?
He was like crying and stuff like that. Yeah, dude, that's great. Oh,
undrafted. Like what a story.
He is. Yeah, I don't know I don't know, man. There's not much to say about it. It's always so sick when you get to see that type of stuff like that. I remember, like you see, like I remember Pedersen's first goal and stuff like that. But especially when you're undrafted and like you have grinded. I thought I read somewhere he didn't play college hockey till he was like 21 or something like that. Like he didn't play somewhere till he was 21. So like he really, really busted his ass to like get to where he is now. And it's honestly so freaking awesome to see him get a point in his first game.
Yeah, no, I just loved like seeing the quotes where he said he was talking to his dad. He's like, "You're going to Ottawa," and he knew right away that his son was playing for the Canucks, and he broke down in tears and said his dad's his like number one fan, and he's like, in a way, it's like his first game too.
Yeah.
So
he was fist pumping when he gets the point. Oh, dude, that video is so good.
No, just awesome. So I hope I actually really liked his game. Like I thought his His board play was fine, and obviously that pass to Bluger's obviously good hockey sense and everything. So I'm assuming he'll get the next game. But that also with Besser potentially coming back into the fold, it's either him or Baines. I'm assuming that would get sent down there, unless Talkett wants to send a message to Hoglander. I thought
Hoglander's getting claimed quick.
Well, no, just to scratch him.
Just
You know what I mean?
scratch?
Yeah. No, we're not sending Hoglander to waivers.
I thought you
but-
meant like he's going to the waivers, and I was like, oh, man, all right.
No. I shouldn't be hosting a Canuck podcast if I thought that. But regardless, yeah, if he gets sent down again after that performance, like whatever, like I think he should come back up eventually. Like I loved his effort. And just again, like, yeah, you talk about this like next man up mentality, right? Like in this game, like you got Sherwood, DeBrusque finally potting some. That's a top 6 like that you want. Sherwood's obviously depth, but he's up there. But you got guys like Bluger pitching in, Sasson pitching in on that goal, right? And just the effort that they had, like even when they could tell the Sens were getting frustrated, right? Like they took a penalty, and then the Canucks just toyed with them in their own zone, trying to keep it away from them, and they got a 5-on-3 out of it. Like, what are your thoughts on that sequence, by the way?
I sat there. I was watching it like with my girl, and I sat there and I was so like I was laughing, and then I looked at her and I was like, if they did that to the Canucks, I was like, I'd be pulling my hair out. I was like, I'd be so pissed off, bro. I'd be so pissed off. But I don't blame Vancouver. I think it's sleazy doing that. I hate when teams do that. I think it's sleazy as hell. But I think in an instant, like, I just don't like the way the Senators were playing. Like, they were playing aggressive and, like, dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, like, most
they
of
were
the
just
time,
running around.
like, headhunting, charges, just left, right, and center. Also, Brady Tkachuk's probably one of the worst captains in the league. Like, it was ridiculous. So when they started doing that, and then, you know, Brady takes a cross-checking penalty on the play, too, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, keep ragging that thing around. There were a couple times they threw it back to the defenseman, and I was like, that's a little too close to the
Yeah, there was the one saucer, I think, from Brandstrom, where I'm like, hey, buddy, that's an inch away from being an own goal.
Yeah, let's cut that out.
Yeah.
There was when Hronik, like, there was this broken stick in the play when they were passing it around with the empty net, and Hronik like shot the stick back into the net. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, we're good.
No, watching that live, it looked like the puck too, and I was caught watching it. I was like, what the hell did he just do? But yeah, genuinely, it was a frustrated Sens team. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak at this point. And just the way like that whole sequence is, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. But keep your composure, like, and Brady Tkachuk, man, like he takes a penalty on that 5-on-3. Comes out of the box, and you could just tell he was just looking for something the whole night. Joshua finally like meets up with him in the center of the ice, and they fight. His gloves aren't even off yet, and Brady Tkachuk just starts swinging. Like, I respect the player. He's a good player in this league.
Oh, I think he's a great player. I think he's.
But the leadership, I don't know. I question it in moments like that where it's like, you know, you're one of the best players. You're within like your top 6 for the Senators, and you're going to go back to the box for a 5 in a game, or in a game misconduct there. Like, you just, you know, and the Sens came close, obviously getting the 2 goals, but like you're hurting your team there.
He's a unicorn in the show. Like, there's not another player like him. I don't think he's. I think he can be like a good captain. I just think they gave it to him way too soon. Like, the guy is just not like, that's not the type of guy that you want having the C. And obviously, like, Sens fans are going to be pissed off about it. But to be fair, I've been seeing a lot of Sens fans that are over their team too. Like, apparently this isn't the first time they've absolutely stunk it up for like 2 periods and then made a late game like push.
Yeah,
like, apparently it's been happening quite a bit. So I don't know.
This is so reminiscent of those Canuck teams, man, where like they keep you in it for like the long run because they'll score those 2 quick ones at the end. But like, not even just that, like the loser mentality behind it all. Like, they have all the tools, man. They got Stützle, they got Brady Tkachuk, they got Giroux, who's like a known, like he's been a great player in the NHL. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? You have a good defense in like Shabbat and Sanderson. Sorry, I haven't even finished the forwards there. Pinto, Norris. You know, you got Allmark in the offseason. Like, there's a lot of things there that go into the recipe that should equal success. And yet, I feel like this team's been so ingrained in that, like, same as Buffalo and Detroit in those rebuilds of just like losing soup. I don't know what it is, man, but like there's something in the water there, and I don't know what gets you out of that murky water.
I saw a couple people, like couple Suns fans, say that this team's stuck in a childish mindset.
Yeah.
Like they haven't grown up since they've been together.
Like, you know what, actually? When the second, that start to the season there with Boudreaux, where the Canucks were like 0-7 and what were we? We were like, we didn't win for
like 3 or some shit, 7-2.
Yeah, we didn't win for 2 weeks, basically. But like that team, like when Vancouver would get the lead, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna win the game. The moment something bad would happen, it would just be this like waterfall, trickle down effect of just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing, and they didn't know how to like overcome it, so they would lose all these games where you think they should win it, and that's kind of how the Senators team feels to me. And I know this isn't a Sens podcast, but just what I saw, like they're just a immature team still, and they got a lot to work on.
I think but honestly, like no excuses for that last game. Vancouver for over 45 minutes, like they're missing Quinn Hughes. Like I saw he took the penalty 12 minutes into the first period.
Yeah.
Right? They're missing Quinn Hughes for over 45 minutes in that game. They didn't start the game with Demko. They didn't have Miller. They didn't have Besser. Right? Like,
yeah.
That's inexcusable. Like you can't lose that game.
No, and especially for how early they lost Hughes, it's like, if you're the Sens, like, not that it should be a guaranteed win, but like it almost kind of should be. Like with everyone that you have in your lineup that's healthy, you should be taking advantage of that. But honestly, though, props to Vancouver. Like that was a very good character win. It speaks to the depth that we do have that stepped up there, right? Like we're asking, like that's not just like the forwards like stepping up there. Like Hughes being gone makes Myers have to play more, makes Soucy. Roenick has to be the new Hughes, right? And then Brandstrom and who was in there for the last pairing there?
Juleson.
Brandstrom and Juleson. Yeah, sorry.
Who also last couple games?
Not bad.
He's looking better.
Not bad. I still like. I love the hit because they're nice, clean hits. He knows how to do it. But man, sometimes when he goes up for those, they cause some odd man rushes. There was that nice breakaway chance for Norris, but yeah. Regardless, I got all the props to Vancouver in this game. This is a game
you forgot to mention Soucy.
Oh, I forgot. That's who I forgot to mention. Sorry, Soucy. The Souce is loose. They all those guys stepped up and played a way better game than expected. And I was actually even impressed by like the way Roenick was playing.
I actually really want to just a quick thing about Roenick. I think like there's been a lot of like discourse on Twitter about him not being able to carry his own pair.
Yes.
And the fact that he basically gets spoon fed by Quinn Hughes, and for $7.5 million, like you expect him to be able to carry his own pair.
Yeah.
I think, man, like that's the best game Filip Hronek's had all year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like Hronek doesn't get enough credit for being a feisty little piece of shit. Like,
he's jawing it up with Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, right. And he's cross-checking dudes and shit like that. And I think like his passing has always been just absolutely like immaculate, right? So
this year especially with the stretch passes, they've been good.
Yeah, so Quinn goes down and Phil just steps up, man. Like I think he had a great game, and like. It's nice to see him be able to do that by himself without Quinn Hughes there. And I think we need to put a little bit more respect on Hronek's name. The guy can handle a pair by himself. He's just a part of one of the best players in the league. And this is coming from me last pod when I said Hronek needs to man his own pair.
Yeah.
All right. I'm convinced he can do it, but he plays.
I didn't know your game respectfully.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he had a great game, and I think, like, honestly, man, like we're so lucky that we have Filip Hronek.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like this team would be hurting if we didn't have another defenseman back there like Phil. So, and again, just like this kind of can show management too, like, hey, Hronek can run his own pair because they haven't really been forced to do that because Talk has been pretty strict with the Soucy Myers pairing, which has also been getting pretty bad bounces. I did see like an expected goals for them is 1.38 currently. and the lowest last year was a 1.91. I don't know who the D pair was, but again, like their luck is bound to change eventually. But 19 games in, that's a pretty big sample size for Tocchet to at least attempt to try to play them not on the same pair.
Yeah.
So I think this game really shows that, oh yeah, hey, you know what? Hughes can play with Myers or Brandstrom or somebody there, and then Rona can run his own, and then the third pair is the third pair. But yeah, no, I all around, like, this is a good start to the road trip. They're 1-0. And yeah, tomorrow we got the Bruins with Besser coming back. That's exciting.
I hate playing the Bees, and I love playing the Bees. This is a weird relationship I have with them boys. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I remember the 2011 Stanley Cup Final. I remember Linus Ullmark scoring a fucking goal on me.
Oh my god!
I remember those back-to-back games where we beat the Bruins like 8-3 and like 8-2. Like, the Canucks and the Bruins, man, there's a weird relationship, you know? Like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
It's like each team takes turns sandbagging the other one.
Yeah. Maybe we're on the cusp of giving them some beatdowns here,
dude. I swear to God, if we don't beat them tomorrow, especially with how bad that team's been this year, upset.
Yeah.
Are we wrapping it up?
Wrapping up here, but yeah,
Okay.
What do you?
I just I don't know if you saw. This is actually not Canucks news. Also, shout out Sidney Crosby, 600 career goals. You can't really see it, but go Pens.
Go Pens! Just an absolute tire fire right now.
Hey, Philip Tomasino, difference maker. Did you hear about Paul Bissonnette?
Mm-mm.
He got jumped by 6 dudes in like a bar in Arizona.
Wait, what? Arizona? Why are they dropping the gloves with him there? Like he served his time.
I don't know if it was in Arizona, but yeah, he got like jumped by like 6 different dudes at a bar and like had to go to the hospital and stuff like that. I don't know anything else about it, and they said that like it's not life threatening or anything, but
yeah, that's good. Dude, holy
shit's crazy.
I had no idea. Wow, well, speedy recovery to Biz. That's just shitty.
One of the fucking best in the business, and you just know, like, love Biz, but that guy's got a mouth on him.
Hey, he definitely can. Yeah, obviously I don't know anything outside of what you just said, but like, I will say, like, guys like him and Bieksa make the broadcasting part of Sportsnet for us about a zillion times better. No poems from better. Ron McLean. Like, it just makes it better. So yeah, I hope everything's all right there.
I think if I read it right, it was there was basically just like a confrontation in the bar, and he tried to actually like get in the middle of it,
diffuse it,
de-escalate, and he ended up getting just
Jeez.
Yeah. So shout out Biz. Hopefully you're okay, buddy. Like,
have us on the pod.
My God, no, they'd chew us up. And also, I couldn't take it.
You and me would be yelling and crying at Ryan Whitney. He'd be roasting the Canucks. Oh, that'd be great.
Shut up.
But Canucks continue the road trip tomorrow against the Bruins, like you said.
Boston.
You know what? I think we still win. Knock on wood here right now. But this just seems like one of those games because they've been struggling. Zadorov and Lindholm both get a goal. That's bound to happen. That's a Canuck thing right there.
I was thinking about this yesterday, but I'm more worried about Zadorov being playoff Zadorov against us. Not with the goals, but the hits more than anything. Lindholm's chalked. Lindholm can kick rocks. Like, he literally could not hold Pettersson's jock strap right now. Like, that guy's cheeks.
Yeah.
But I just want a quick shout, dude. I'm pretty sure the game on like Sunday is at 9:30 in the morning, which is pretty
Sunday 9:30.
Yeah, I think it's Detroit. I don't know who they're playing, but I'm like 95% sure that game's at 9:30.
Sunday, December 1st, 9:30. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, that's
Oh, we got a couple bangers here. Friday at 12?
Yeah, that's that one I'm looking forward to.
I'm what the hell? I gotta let my boss know. That's crazy.
I'm gonna miss the Detroit game. I think it's Detroit on Sunday.
Detroit Sunday, yeah.
So I'm gonna miss that game, 9:30 a.m. Because I got work at like 10:30. But I have Friday off, so I can watch that. Beautiful game, and I don't know who we're playing.
Buffalo.
Oh.
Yeah, the beautiful game. Yeah, have fun watching Tage.
The beautiful game.
All right, well, let me wrap this up here now. We're getting silly here. So you could follow us on Instagram, X, and now Blue Sky if you have it, at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok is at What the Nuck. Thanks again so much for watching and listening, and go Canucks, go!